What? That was gibberish. What was that? Say it again. Okay, so there we go. That was teamwork. Helping and uniting dreamers to develop, lead, and empower. That is the acronym that Huddle stands for. And again, we're happy to be back. What did we miss over the last 2 weeks? It was a few things that happened. It was a few people's birthdays, heavenly birthdays. We lost some giants. Call it out, just so we're in the know. We celebrated Malcolm X's centennial. Who celebrated with us? Raise your hand. If you were here at the House of Justice for the press conference or you went to the Shabazz Center, let's clap them up. Shout out to the Shabazz Center, one of our partners, and to the Shabazz family. Malak Shabazz was here this past Saturday, who is the youngest living child of Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz. And of course, Ilyasa was here as well for the press conference, and she helped to lead the efforts with the Shabazz Center. So much love and respect to the Shabazz family. We also, I don't know if you remember, Dr. Betty Shabazz's birthday also has just passed, so we honor both Malcolm X and Dr. Betty Shabazz. Dr. Betty Shabazz was me and my sister Dominique's godmother, and she helped to send us to school, Johnson Preparatory School, which was an all-black school, so that we were protected and we knew our history. So we always pay respects to Dr. Shabazz in addition to Malcolm X, of course. And he's right here. This is the King House, but Reverend Sharpton always makes sure that we know both men were respected equally. All right? All right, anything else that we want to, it's June, happy June. This is the second day of June, right? Happy Pride Month. There you go, Ocean. Happy Pride for those who are, there we go. Thank you, Word, Sister Word. So, Charlie B. Rangel, former Congressman Charlie B. Rangel of the Harlem Gang of Five. Some say four, but it was five with Hazel Dukes. He joined the Heavenly Army, and this past Saturday, former Assemblywoman Inez Dickens, who was a queen and we love, a friend to the room, was here to help honor and pay respect. But she really told the story. She told stories, some stories we didn't know. So if you didn't watch it, if you weren't here, visit Nan's YouTube and just listen to who Charlie Rangel was to people in the Harlem community, to Inez Dickens, to our movement. He was definitely a pillar, definitely a beacon, definitely an example of black excellence. He showed us what you can do with nothing and make it into something. And he led this movement for so many in and out of season. And I thank him personally for my family, for the impact he had on my family, what he did for my father, Reverend Al Sharpton, what he did for the National Action Network, what he did for Harlem. And we stand on great shoulders. So we have to know, in order to know where we've been, we gotta know, in order to know where we're going, we gotta know where we've been. And Charlie Rangel definitely was somebody that we honor and that we look upon and whose legacy that we bring forward. When we go to the new building, we're supposed to be in the new building starting September. It's not just Reverend Sharpton's legacy and tradition that we carry forward. It's not just Dr. King's. It's so many people's from Charlie Rangel to Teresa Freeman, who used to be said district leader, to Malcolm X, to Dr. Betty Shabazz. It's so many people that we've lost that have come through these doors that's impacted us, that's helped to make the National Action Network it, but also helped to make our people us. So we have to make sure, and it's important as the Huddle, the young people, the young minds that we impact that are here, but also watching, and our partners, to just make sure you know who we are, what we mean, what our melanin means, and what we accomplished here in this country, in this world, every day. If they tell our stories or not, especially when they're trying to delete our history, we have to make sure that we build it up and tell our stories. All right, amen? All right, thank you, Word, for reminding me he was right behind us. Also, George Floyd. Who knows what happened with George Floyd while we were not meeting with Huddle? Call it out, anybody? The 5-year anniversary of George Floyd being killed was also passed May 29th. I joined Reverend Sharpton with the family Philonise Floyd and several of his family members in Texas, where he was buried 5 years ago. And it was no easier. The family is still mourning. They're about 4 organizations split. We know one, formerly We Are Floyd. We love Terrence. He's usually here on Mondays. He's usually here on Saturdays. Clap him up. But the entire family is still suffering. His youngest daughter, Gianna, is literally getting bullied in school now. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's so much, they need so much support. It hasn't gotten easier. We know they're trying to free Chauvin. There's calls for that. We know what Trump did as far as police reform. It's a slap in the face, and it's basically a spit in our faces and a spit in the George Floyd movement. But we have to be persistent. We have to keep going. We can't give up. We've been here before, so we know we can be triumphant. Just making sure that we're all on the same page and we all know what's going on. Just because we weren't meeting formally doesn't mean that we were not actively in the know and actively doing what we know and are taught to do. All right, so we talked about June. So you said Happy Pride. What is June also known for? I think, there we go, Gun Violence Awareness Month, and we wear orange for peace. So Christian has his orange on. I'm gonna have my orange on. Lisa has her orange on. I see you, sister in the back. She got her orange on. So orange is for peace. Orange is for Gun Violence Awareness Month. We're definitely gonna have a Gun Violence Awareness Huddle with our partners, Guns Down, Life Up, and a few others, to just basically get inside, get outside, and basically talk about gun violence awareness. All right. Now we're gonna start with our opening prayer from Brother Ernest Waters. And he's also going to give us our opening scripture and inspirational quote. Let's clap him up as he comes on. Y'all already started clapping, so let's keep clapping for him.
Thank you. Hey, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just be willing to take the next step in faith. All you have to have is faith and believe, and you can achieve. All right, today's reading is coming from Psalm 27, the 5th chapter. The Lord is my light and my salvation. From whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, come upon me to eat my flesh, they shall stumble and fall. Though I boast and fall, I shall not fear. The war shall be against me, and even then I shall be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, that I will seek after him, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to hold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. All right, now we will have our artivism. Lift up your voice and sing, singing of the Black National Anthem. I have two mics in front of me, excuse me. No, I'm not. Anyone who wants to join Dan for the singing of Black, lift up your voice and sing, please do. Here you go.
Amen, 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 amen. I guess those singers that are going to be joining me singing can come up to the microphone section. That'll be well. Lift every voice and sing till heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let all rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the sing a song full of the faith that the dark passes taught. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has provided us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you to the Whosoever Will Choir and Dan. Mom, just forgive her commentary on the side. All right, now we have our action alerts and announcements. Does anyone have any good news they want to share? All right, and as he comes, we welcome Christian back from the West Coast. We weren't here. We went to the NAN Sacramento 2025 conference, and it definitely was a hit. I only got to stay the first day because I had to get back. But Christian was there, he represented. You want to tell us about that, and then tell us the rest of your good news. Let's clap up our National Youth and College President.
Thank you. Yes, so 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go to Sacramento, California, where Dr. T. Coy Porter is the chapter president and leader there, and he had his 7th annual conference called the Still Building Conference, where they had many different leaders from around the Sacramento and the greater California area talking about the issues in the Black and brown community, not just within the national, but even honing more into what they're dealing with in California. There's a lot of issues that I didn't know about that they deal with over there, but he's tackling all of them. They have a youth huddle that they do there, and they're also getting ready to do legal nights in California, which is good. Yes. And he has partnered with so many community organizations. He's partnered with unions. He's partnered with national leaders. One of them is T-Mobile, Uber, Lyft. This is a chapter I'm talking about that Dr. Porter has done great things in his chapter. So can we give him a big hand for all of the stuff that he's doing over there? Okay. Now, I have a very busy week this week. Dealing with gun violence today. I had the opportunity to join folks in the Bronx for their event with Bronx Borough President Gibson and Darcel Clark at, where were we? We were across the street from the courthouse, yes, thank you, where we opened up gun violence there with all of the other Gun Violence Awareness Month. Save East Harlem. Nicole, she invited everybody to come tomorrow from 11 to 1 p.m., 42nd Street at the Red Stairs. They are having the New York City opening of Gun Violence Awareness Month. Normally they do it on the stairs of City Hall, but this year they said they wanted to go into a major hub to show the world that they are fighting against gun violence, and so we want to go and support them between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow. After that, we're coming back uptown to go to Harlem Hospital with the gun violence organizations that deal with hospital responding, right down the street on 135th and Lenox. Then Friday, the Bronx DA is having something called Plant for Peace, where they will be planting trees in St. Mary's Park between 12 and 3, and then doing a community festival between 3 to 6 for the community, and that will be at St. Mary's Park. That begins on 149th and St. Anne's, and it goes all the way down to 142nd. So I think that's it. There's other events, but I can't remember them right now. But thank you, and that's it for the most part. Marcus Howe, do you have good news? Come on.
Quickly, brother.
I think you know what it is.
What is the good news? Say the mic.
Okay, so the good news is last Monday I've been to the American Youth Water Park with Dominique and Ashley Sharpton.
He said he went to American Dream with his mother and his aunt. Thank you.
Great. So I got a few announcements. So the petition that I was working on for honor Michael Jackson with the bus does have 32 views, but not signatures. But at least it's getting around.
What platform it is on? Is it on petition.org?
Oh no, it's on change.org.
Change.org.
Yeah, so it's on change.org. My the QR code is on my Instagram if you guys wants to follow. But okay.
Okay, then.
Okay, I guess Kaden has something to say too. You want something to say?
He started to talk.
So his good news is that he started to talk, and he's 9 months. So we are 4 months away from his first birthday. And also tomorrow I'll be joining Raymond Santana and others. I'm at the Gate of the Exonerated. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know that's an event, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to give a speech because he's still in the running for city councilman, but I will be there at 12 p.m.
Awesome. And you can look on Santana Raymond's page for full information on that. And Ocean's as well.
Hi, good day, everybody, and God bless everybody. I'm so glad we're here together on this beautiful day that God has made. My good news is that the Schaumburg is still celebrating the 100th year of being just a center for education regarding various cultures, but in particular, the Black culture. So this past Thursday morning, Mayor Adams had an event called a multi-faith tour. And at this particular event, The panel was very diverse from different city agencies that really want to work with the faith community, in particular with clergy that lead congregations. And they were willing to hear from anyone in the audience who has any concerns and most important, any suggestions to improve conditions, because obviously under this administration, things are getting worse. But the fact that Mayor Adams decided to stay faithful and hopeful and really understand the need for the faith community to become activists for the community. Fortunately, I was there representing National Structure Network. We've been doing this, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. Reverend Sharpton has, and his family, because, you know, he has to do this with his family, have been doing this for over 33 years. So it was just good to be a part of what we know we need to do, and the faith community is now welcomed by the mayor officially to participate and partner with agencies to help improve this society and this democracy. God bless you all. Good day.
All right. Before Tony Veer speaks, I see two of our young ladies. I just want to welcome them back. They went to Albany. They were doing advocacy work.
Welcome back.
I want to shout them out and their mom and their, you know, good up the good work. All right, come on, TV.
Okay, I got a couple of things. First is a friend of mine told me to talk to his son, who's on the West Coast, about how I can make more money on social media. And he told me about something I didn't think about. He's going to be my mentor on Patreon.
All right.
I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So that was good. I just had that conversation just before I walked in the door. And then the second thing is that y'all don't know this, but I got a promotion here at NAN. My promotion is that I have to sit in the front now.
Oh, Lord. Rev can pick on him.
Rev said, you know, before, not this Saturday, Saturday before, I said, listen, Tony, I saw you came in late. Matter of fact, security, he comes in late, put him in the front. So I'm in the front now. And by the way, in case you didn't notice, the reason why he picks on me is because for 5 months I would say, hey, you pick on Hardy and you pick on all these other guys. I want to be part of the Cool Kids Club, like in school, you know? And so I guess right now I'm the leader of the Cool Kids Club.
Aw, I'm glad he makes you feel special, Tony.
That's good, Tony.
I like this green. You and Word are wearing green.
Yes, thank God. Thank you. I was looking, somebody gave me food, and I wanted to give it to another woman because of her daughter. She's from Africa, from Nigeria, and when I called her, see, I don't like to travel in the darkness to give out food, and she was very angry with me and text me words like, don't bring me the food. But I have tried 3-4 times giving her food, and I gave it to her. But I'm looking on information about the AIDS. Did the House of, I don't know if it was the House of Justice or one of the sisters in Harlem, it was an AIDS program for the AIDS children, the babies, that was AIDS. Was that Mother Hazel Duke?
No, Mother Hill.
Oh, Mother Hill.
Mother Hill.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to know. Thank you. God bless you.
No problem.
Okay, I have a last announcement, which I'm going to talk more about in my Did You Know, but it is about the election for mayor. This week, for those that don't know, the debate with all 9 Democratic running candidates will be on this week, Thursday, at 8 p.m., and also this election is ranked choice voting, and so if you were not aware of that, Don Jones, one of the board members and the leader of the NAN Political Action Committee, had a forum on it last week that broke down everything you need to know about ranked choice voting. So I'm going to talk about that later in my Did You Know about one of the candidates, but just so you know, the debate is this week, Thursday, and then also next week, one of these days. I forgot. Oh, the 14th. Next week, the 14th. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Last one is D. Come on, take us home. And he did a great presentation for Legal Night.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good evening.
All right, well, my announcement is just like our dear sister Ocean's. I'm excited, anticipating on tomorrow. I am also supporting and endorsing our dear brother, one of the exonerated 5, Raymond Santana. And tomorrow we will be at the gate, which is at 110th Street, at the entrance of Central Park. And what street is that again? Is that Malcolm X Boulevard?
Is it Lennox? No, it's 5th.
It's 5th?
Is it 5th? No, it's in the middle. It's right in the middle. 7th. Yeah, 7th. 7th.
Malcolm X Boulevard is 7th Avenue, am I correct?
No, Malcolm X is Lennox.
Lennox.
So it's Lennox. It's Lennox.
It's Lennox.
It's Lennox. That's Malcolm X. It's Lennox.
Yeah, we're going to get it right,
It's
but
the gate.
it's the
Exonerated
gate.
5 gate.
Whoever knows the exonerated 5 gate, we will be there tomorrow at 12 o'clock. There are forces and powers that be that are trying to infiltrate New York City, trying to divide the lines from the Bronx to Brooklyn to Queens and Manhattan. We've got to do all that we can to unify each other. This brother is a young brother that grew up here in Harlem, that knows the struggle of the struggle. And it is unfortunate that he had to do all those years in prison, but he is out on a better side. And a brother like him, we need to get elected because he knows what needs to be done in our community, because he's a victim of what has been perpetrated against us in our communities, from police brutality, from unfunded schools, bad housing, dirty, rat-infested neighborhoods. This is something that this brother grew up in and is seeking to change. So I'm asking each and every one of you who are out there on today to come out on tomorrow and support this brother and get involved and begin the pre-voting, the early voting that is starting. So please come on out on tomorrow and support our brother Raymond Santana. Thank you, guys.
Any other good news? You good? Come on. And let's clap you up for your consistency. When you started coming in there, young man, and you've been dropping things in the What's on Your Mind segment, so thank you.
Thank you. All right. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maurice. This is my first time at your Monday session. I like what I see so far. I'm happy that I'm able to come out here and talk to the youth. As you guys know, Reverend Al Sharpton kind of grew up in Operation Breadbasket, and this is like the continuation of this. So he actually got to see Martin Luther King on one occasion or something. Mm-hmm. So who knew that Martin Luther King will be bypassing the Martin Luther King of our generation, right? Wow. He inspired that brother to become Al Sharpton and become the next civil rights leader. So that's when he was about a little younger than you guys. So one of you here might be the next big civil rights leader that was inspired by Ashley and Reverend Al. And I'm going to just try to preach some positivity to you guys and tell you that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Nothing is too big as long as you can believe it in your mind and you can conceive it, all right?
That's right.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
That's right. And he's a graduate of Morehouse House. The house is in the building. Here we go. Thanks for being here. Come on, John.
Hi. And I wanted to say that Operation Breadbasket was actually started by the Vatican. Now, for young ones, excuse me, St. Peter, he tried to walk on water like Christ, and he didn't. He's the first pope,
So
and that's who made the USA.
Was not started by. That's not true.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's the open part of Huddle. Everyone is welcome. Those who are watching to share their thoughts. So that's what they are responsible for, their thoughts that are not the thoughts of the National Action Network. All right. Thank you. Okay. So we're gonna move on. Zamo, you gonna do the action alerts? Yeah, come on. And I'm gonna do the Black History fact. Actually, can y'all help me read for the ladies? Y'all can read. Come on. Come on. It's short. Come on. You know who Harriet Tubman is? Y'all see? Y'all already ready. Okay, so you do this one. I'm sitting right here. If you have any trouble with the words, we're gonna stop right there, okay? And you say combi. That's combi. Do you see this word? It's combi.
Comedy? Combi? Okay. On June 2nd.
Wait, introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Samaya.
Let's clap Samaya up.
On June 2nd, 1863, Harriet Tubman planned and guided a significant armed raid, becoming the first woman to do so in the Civil War against the Confederate forces. Supply depots and plantations along the Combahee River in the coastal South Carolina. Did I read this? Oh. On the night of June 2nd, 3 federal gunboats set sail from the Beaufort, South Carolina, up the Combahee River. Tubman had gained vital information about the location and rebel torpedoes planted along the river from people who traded information for freedom.
Clap her up. Great job, Simone.
I'm here.
You say your name.
My name is Rayon. Because of this information, Tubman was able to steer the Union ships away from any danger. She led the ships to specific spots along the shore where fugitives from slavery were hiding and waiting to be rescued. This is known as the Raid Combahee Ferry.
Thank you. Let's clap her up. Thank you both. Thank you both. Excellent job. All right, so basically our Black History Fact was about Harriet Tubman, and she basically freed nearly 800 people at the Combahee River. Does everybody know who Harriet Tubman is here? Everybody? Anybody who doesn't know? All right, good. All right, I used to love Harriet Tubman when I was little. I grew up learning about her, and I thought she was a OG because you didn't hear about women who basically could do what she did. And it was not in the time of social media. It was not in the time she literally had to figure out where she was going based on the stars, which is incredible. How incredible is your mind to actually know where you're going by literally the stars? And she freed so many people, a woman. Yeah, Tony Veer. She freed so many people, and she created the Underground Railroad, and she created partners who were not just black, but white people, all a part of that system. So I just thought it was special just to underline who Harriet Tubman was, especially for that battle specifically. Go ahead.
Okay.
I had to get all the way to the north, and you couldn't even turn the mic on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick story. I just couldn't forget this. I think I was either in the 3rd or 4th grade, PS 70 in the Bronx. And we had a play called about Harriet Tubman. And they had to have 3 different people play her husband. And I played her 3rd husband. And I don't remember anything else I said except for, "Hi, my name is John Tubman." And everybody in my school teased me for the next 2 years for saying it just for that one thing. Oh my
I thought
God.
she was going to add something special.
I'm sorry. It just,
Story.
that's why I was going to say it
of
over there.
Harriet
instead of
Tubman.
here.
And students, this is why you stay in school, young people, because you have to stay on point. Go ahead, Tony Veer, have a seat. Anybody else want to add to the jewels from Harriet Tubman? No, Jonka. Jonka, you have to sit down. Sit down. Because if you get up here and say that she was created from the Vatican, that is disrespectful. No, come, sit, brother. I'm good for you, John. Come on, come on. We good. We good. Can't disrespect the queen. Come on.
So Harriet Tubman also, attention, copy.
One mic.
Pay up. Harriet Tubman is no joke, right? When we should all listen and pay respects to who she was, a beautiful black, strong woman who not only freed the slaves, but led a victory in a battalion in the 1800s.
Come on.
Her unit won a war. Not war, well, they won a battle, and she led it. Woman empowerment, leading in the military, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. And so outside of just freeing the slaves, which is remarkable, which she risked her life multiple times, she served in this country.
It's fire. Thank you. See? He just taught us something. That was a jewel. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? And then we're going to go right to the Did You Knows. She also fought for women's rights. She also had, she suffered, she would just go to sleep. She would just go to sleep. Go ahead. Because she got hit in the head, right. She got hit in the head.
Harriet Tubman was also considered one of the conductors on the Underground Railroad.
Right.
Now, many people don't know what that is. They think that it's a physical railroad, but no, it was a network of people who were called conductors. Each one of the conductors had a safe haven for slaves to come to. Now, most of them were black, but some people were also white conductors who didn't believe in slavery and just knew it was an evil institution and did what they could to help. The difference between the black conductors and the white conductors was that if the black conductors were caught helping slaves, they would get a fine. If the black conductors were caught helping slaves, they would be killed, basically. You would lose everything. So to think that they did so much with so little back then, remember, there's no telephone, there's no telegram, there's no way to communicate with each other except word of mouth. And they were on a plantation. So for Harriet Tubman to develop the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm going to find a way to get out of here. And then when I get out of here, and by happenstance meet some other people looking to do something, we're going to get together. We're going to organize. We're going to unify. And then when we get up north, we're going to pool our resources together and come back and do it all over again. Now, to do that and free about, we don't know what the estimate is, but they estimate about between 30 to 50,000 slaves in all. That's to tell you what we could do today. We have social media.
Come on.
We have telephone.
Come on, brother.
We have technology where we could be on this side of the globe and communicate with black and brown people and white people all across the globe. And we're not doing half as much as what they did back then. So I think that we could do a lot if we come together. So let's come together, everybody.
Amen. All right, that's a good wrap to our Black History Fact segment. And we spoke earlier, but Terrence Floyd is in the building. We talked about you earlier, sir, and we are Floyd. Salute to you always. We love you, and Alexis too. We are Floyd. You already know. Okay, so we're gonna start. Did you know articles? Damo, you gonna kick us off? I was gonna go first, but I think they're tired of me, so you come. And then Christian, and then myself. Let's clap her up as she comes. Our Vice Chair of Huddle and our National Director of Membership. Oh, and also, she didn't share her good news, but her second play, Sunset Boulevard, nominated for a Tony, and she got the package in the mail, so I was hyped. All right, I'm trying. All right, before my phone dies. So I actually talked about the anniversary of the 5th anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. And as you know, we've been demonstrating every week in front of Bill Ackman's office to keep DEI alive. What week are we in this week? 75, 74, 74th week. But Reverend Sharpton wrote an opinion in The Guardian this week that I wanted to share as a Did You Know Tonight, saying that we demanded justice after George Floyd's death. Donald Trump made things worse, but we will continue to fight on. And he said he led a private memorial service at George Floyd's gravesite. Ashley spoke about it earlier. Reverend Sharpton said along with his family in Houston, Texas. And once that was over, we visited the housing project where George Floyd and his siblings grew up. He said half a decade after Floyd was taken from them, they were keen, as are we, to ensure his life and legacy will not be forgotten and to remind the world why the fight for police accountability still continues. George Floyd died in front of the entire world. Everyone saw the phone footage of the incident where a white officer in Minneapolis kneeled on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes after he repeatedly said, "I can't breathe," and cried out for his mother. His desperate pleas for help were ignored by those sworn to serve and protect the public, but they were heard in every corner of the globe, and the movement for police reform gained renewed fire, and people from all walks of life demanded systemic change and the protection of Black lives. Now, 5 years later, while the officer convicted of Floyd's murder is behind bars, the current climate in the United States and regressive actions from those in power have set us back and prevented substantive police accountability. Just a few days shy of his somber 5th anniversary, Donald Trump's Department of Justice announced that it would back away from cases to force reforms on police departments, including Louisville, Kentucky, and in Minneapolis, the city where George Floyd was killed. This outrageous decision is not a surprise. It is just the latest roadblock in the fight for police reform and justice, and it is an insult to the mothers, fathers, children, and loved ones of all those killed at the hands of law enforcement. The consent decrees, as Reverend Sharpton was speaking about, and small incremental changes that were achieved after tireless advocacy, organizing, and protest and political courage have all been dismantled by a department that should be protecting the civil rights of individuals and not eliminating them. And this move isn't just a policy reversal, it's a moral retreat that sends a chilling message that accountability is optional when it comes to Black and brown victims. Donald Trump is shamelessly weaponizing the Justice Department against marginalized communities, and the decision to dismiss these lawsuits with prejudice solidifies a dangerous political precedent that police departments are above scrutiny. And the timing is no coincidence. It is an insult to George Floyd's family and the loved ones of victims, such as Sandra Bland and Tyree Nichols and Breonna Taylor and Eric Garner and countless others whose names we may never even know. And so he stated he remembers delivering the eulogies for George Floyd, and there was so much frustration and anger and disgust and exhaustion permeating throughout the United States and in turn in many nations across the world. But also in August of 2020, we led a march in Washington to call attention to ongoing police injustice. And despite the pandemic, hundreds of thousands from all races, ages, and socioeconomic backgrounds protested alongside National Action Network. But much has changed, and in the wake of George Floyd's killing and amid calls to respect Black lives, many corporations made commitments to continue diversifying and investing in our communities. Now we are watching many of those same companies turn their backs on their own diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, capitulating to a right-wing government. And the 2021 conviction of Derek Chauvin, the officer who killed George Floyd, represented one of the first major cases in which someone in law enforcement was held accountable for their actions. But now some conservative groups and individuals are pushing for him to receive a pardon from the president. Such action would be the height of throwing salt into an already achingly deep wound. It should not be entertained for not even a moment. And so nothing could be more further than the truth. And according to Mapping Police Violence, police in the United States have killed 456 people so far this year. Yes. There has only been a single day this year when police haven't killed a person in 2025. And as it highlights, Black people are 2 times more likely to be killed by law enforcement than their white counterparts. And this is why we still march. This is why we will still put pressure on elected officials and corporations. He also talked about what we can do in order to get ready for the march. And he said that he's been leading boycotts. Many of us have went to Costco, to the boycotts, and to support businesses such as Costco who are supporting DEI and remain firm in their commitments. He's also stated that we've had meetings with PepsiCo and Target, and that recently people have even started to really boycott these companies, which we are seeing support and success from, of course, boycotting and withholding our funds from places like Target. And so he said he joined a group of fellow leaders of the national civil rights organizations for these meetings. And on August 28th, NAN will lead a march on Wall Street to defend DEI and also to remind corporations of their own promises in the wake of George Floyd's death, and also to reiterate that we will only spend our dollars where we are respected. So I wanted to just bring this into a full circle moment, especially for our young people, as we are talking about, and as you're having conversations, people are asking you, like, what's DEI? You know, you're part of that organization, NAN. Why are they so, critical about, keeping DEI alive? Well, this article helps you to put things into perspective. If you cared about George Floyd's murder, right? If you cared about even like how we're spending our dollars, like you want your dollar to be valued, right? You want to feel important spending your money that you earned, right? You want the corporations and the organizations that you support to love and support you. And so it really is that simple. As you're having these conversations, there are some organizations and corporations like Target that are saying, we'll take your dollar, but we don't have to respect you. What do you say to that? How do you feel about that? That don't sit right with me. I don't know about you, but it just don't sit right with me. So I'd rather just take my dollar out of Target and go give my dollar to Costco or some other place that say, okay, I appreciate your dollar and I respect you. As opposed to giving my dollar to somebody that says, I have the products you want, but I don't respect you, I don't care about you. And so that's really what this is. And that's why we're going to Wall Street, because Wall Street is, of course, the hub of where all the money comes through. All over the world, their money is going through Wall Street. And so if we can affect Wall Street, and if we can amplify, right, our cause and our voice collectively together to say, listen, we hitting Wall Street, this is where y'all, this is what y'all care about. Since y'all don't care about us, we're gonna show you where you care about, and we're gonna affect where you care about. And so we're going to Wall Street August 28th. I hope everybody here is registered to go. I know that Huddle's gonna have a bus, but really it is important. And as young people, like I said, as we're having these conversations and as we're talking about what happened to George Floyd 5 years ago, we're also saying that what happened to George Floyd, we have to make sure it does not continue to happen. And that's why we're doing these things. We're trying to amplify what is important and what matters to us, and that is our lives. Black lives do matter, and we're going to continue to fight and stand for them. If anyone has a question, comment, please come at this time. If not, we're going to move on to Ashley's, or Christian's, did you know? Janka? Okay.
I got good news for you. I was impersonated to Rome in 1969, and they lied we were on the moon, and Wall Street isn't in Wall Street anymore. It's in New Jersey, the stock.
Okay, I wanted to acknowledge the brother of George Floyd is here. Brother Terrence Floyd, we're always so happy to see Terrence in the house and in the audience. We definitely support him and the organization We Are Floyd. And we know that, of course, this is not easy ever. This never gets easier. But we stand with Terrence, and we stand with his family, and we stand with the movement, and we know that we're going to keep amplifying the name of George Floyd everywhere we go. Yes, sir.
Yes, you hit it spot on reading that article, 100%. What the cruel murder of George Floyd, it was one individual, but it's a symbol of like hope now. And before I even met Terrence or knew of his name, I was marching for George Floyd with just fire in my heart to see that knee on that black man's neck to where he passed away so cruel. And it's like that is what started the whole DEI. Like, yes, it was active, it was alive back then, but now after that, that's when it like exploded, and that these companies made a promise to us, and now they are dismantling it under the Trump administration. And it's wrong, because like one thing to have like qualified immunity, but Trump is trying to take us back years and years and years to where we as black people have no rights, and no amount of money can ever just erase that pain of losing a loved one, a brother. I have a cousin who was ran over by a drunk cop, drunk driving. Wow. And their mother, who now is still looking for work, she did receive an undisclosed amount of money, but she's still looking for work, and a son, and her other son is struggling, and it's terrible. You know, that pain never goes away. And so my comment was, thank you for sharing that article, because these policies need to be reinstated immediately, worldwide. Not even worldwide, nationwide, but everywhere where it's not already is, and it needs to be more like magnified to where the impact is shown and is cared about, because no one else is going to care about it more than us as black people. Black people, our skin, our black, light-skinned black people. We need to care about this, because no one else is going to care about it more than us.
I'll be brief. So, yeah, it's really important that we actually control where our dollars are paid for, because, yeah, DEI is very important, because we've been marching, in front of Bill Ackman's building for 74 weeks? 74 weeks?
74 weeks.
Yes. Did you guys know that the bus boycotts lasted almost a year?
All right.
Like with Rosa Parks, when she had gotten arrested because she paid for her fare and still was told to go back to the back of the bus, she stood her ground and was like, no, I'm not taking this. I paid my fare, so I deserve a seat on the bus. Just like we do to this day, because that's exactly what Target is basically telling us. Oh, we'll take your money, but go stand in the back of the store.
Back in the store. Yeah.
So we're not going to stand for this, and we're not going to take it. So if we have to protest or not shop at Target for almost a year, just like they did, then so be it. So be it.
It hurts even though I don't feel it, but I'm sure the Floyd family feels it. And even with, when we were downtown for the young man at the courthouse, Jordan Neely, it hurts. It hurts. Because we have to stick up, not just when they seen it, because it hurt me. And he's our brother. And this man is trying to say, oh, I want to get out of jail? Yeah, really? Just like they have it, as I know Rev went to Fifth Avenue. It was years ago when I was working, and you marched on Fifth Avenue, telling them people to wake up, you know, our people, or them to wake up. Even with Martin Luther King and Dr. Reverend Al Sharpton, that's doing stuff, even with here, August 28th, 1963, with Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're going to go down there and we're going to tell them how we feel. And we must keep on marching. We must stay on the grounds, boots on the ground, sneakers, wearing them, march out here for our people.
We have one more. Okay.
With regards to George Floyd, RIP to George Floyd, and sorry for your loss to Terrence Floyd back there. I think that George Floyd is the modern day equivalent of what Bloody Sunday was back in Martin Luther King's time. And I say this for one reason. George Floyd's death, he died like many black people die, except because of the pandemic, the world was forced to sit down and actually come to terms with what they were looking at on that screen. They had nowhere to go. They couldn't ignore it. They weren't at work. We were all quarantining. And they came to terms with a black man being executed in real time.
Right.
And that brave woman that taped it on her Facebook and everything, once they were forced to look at that, they had no choice but to come together and say, okay, it woke up the collective consciousness of the United States. They had to say that this is wrong. No matter what you feel towards anyone, that's a person, that's somebody's child that was snuffed out. Somebody stood on this man's neck for 9 minutes and would not move. What, you don't even do that to an animal or a bear or anything like that, right? So everybody came together, and then something else happened. Companies realized that some companies were genuine, and they decided, okay, well, we're going to offer a lot of things to this community because it's wrong what you guys have to go through. You guys have had to do a lot more to get hired. You guys have had to work a lot harder to get into the same positions, and we don't think that it's fair. So we're going to start diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Now, some of these companies were genuine. They did it from a place of love. Those are the companies that have not gotten rid of their diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives when the United States now has a different agenda, right? But then they had some of them, like Target, who came out and they said, okay, we're going to invest in your community. Okay, we're going to increase our hiring and performance practices. And then now, once Donald Trump got back in office, it was like they couldn't wait. Within a second, Target came out, they said it with their chest. They put all the black products on sale, right? They were like, forget DEI. Oh, we couldn't wait for this. Okay, we're canceling all the contracts we had with you guys. Then they were just like it was like every day it was a new thing. Okay, we got this out of here. We're doing this. We're firing these people who have something to do with it. And then Target found something else out. They must have forgot who we are. Like I always say before, we're the people who said that it was better to walk in dignity than to ride in shame. And as a result of their actions, they have lost $12.4 billion, right, in their net worth. Okay? And they deserve that. For now, since they did that, they are now the target. I think that they need to be boycotted until they no longer are around, and then all the other companies need to take notice. But in general, one thing that we could do to combat anti-DEI provisions is when you think of somebody getting rid of DEI, that should be the equivalent of them spitting on you. Them saying they don't want you here, but they want you to spend your money there. If someone doesn't want you in their C-suite, somebody doesn't want you to be part of their organization, then they shouldn't have any diversity within their clientele, right? So you shouldn't buy from them. There's a whole bunch of other companies that are going out of their way and doing the opposite, in spite of this administration saying, we don't want you guys doing DEI anymore. They're saying, no, well, we are still going to do DEI. Like Verizon will get rid of it, but AT&T is like, nope, we're standing strong. Target would get rid of it, and Costco would be like, nope, we're standing strong. So we need to stand up with those companies that have stood with us, and we need to continue to boycott the companies that are on our side, and we need to continue to boycott the companies that are not on our side. Now, there's a lot of technology, and it's a lot easier to boycott companies than it was back in the day. So some of you guys like see Amazon and you're like, well, I need Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna continue. You have like 10 or 15 other companies that you can use that'll do the same thing. So let's be a little more diligent. Let's be consistent. Let's consistently boycott. All right. Let's understand the assignment and let's get it together, people. One love. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. You wanna? Yeah. So I don't want it. I just no hold on. So I don't want to ramble or continue to go and repeat what everyone else has said. But George Floyd, literally, for my generation, I'm 37, right? And Trayvon Martin, even though I was born into the movement because I'm Reverend Mums's child, Trayvon Martin was what sparked the flame inside of me that sparked my activism to make me use my own voice and realize that I had something to say. But George Floyd, I feel like is the spark for this generation or the world after COVID that nobody could ignore. But with that said, we've seen that before. We've seen the outrage. We saw the anger. We all were alive 5 years ago to see it, to witness it. Some of you know where you were when you got the news. Some of you watched the video until you couldn't watch it anymore. Some of you might not even know what I'm talking about, but we have to remind them. So the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act was one of the legs of the 2020 March on Washington. So was the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Neither one is on the table. They're supposed to be rewriting or rewording the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act to make it more palpable for it to go across, right? Palpable. But what I urge you is, there's two things that I learned from the fight. And three, because you have to protect your peace, because that summer was like it was, for your mental, it was almost like a rampage. It could drive you crazy if you just watch social media all day, how it just killed us over and over and over, and there was no accountability. Yes, there was outrage everywhere. Everybody was angry. We saw false promises, billions of dollars thrown at us just because people felt bad, literally, just because they felt bad. Or they saw something that Rev and others were saying for years existed, that racism still was here. But they were saying because we lived in a post-Obama era that it could no longer exist. And we saw it for over 9 minutes. Over 9 minutes, somebody had their knee on somebody's neck and killed them on camera. Why I'm repeating this is so that you cannot get normalized to this. I don't care if it's 10 years later. If we become normalized to it, it won't matter anymore. It won't matter. Think about Trayvon, and why I'm saying this, Dominique was more in Trayvon's fight than I was. She was right there with Dad every step of the way. Sabrina Fulton became like an aunt to her, which is Trayvon's mother. Javaris is like our brother. He lost his brother. Ask them how many years it's been and how many people, how much the support is the same. It's not. It's not. They have organizations. Yes, people they're funding them, yes, but it's not the same. If more people will pay attention to the response and do more about it and actually care about it, there will be more of a change. Y'all could tell us about Rodney King and what happened there, right? I'm being honest. Abner Louima, Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell. The Sean Bell movement was crazy. Who can tell me the difference between the George Floyd movement? Just anybody, just yell it out. The difference was they got 3 guilties. Social media.
No, the difference is they were found guilty.
Yes, and we had
That was the first time we got 3 guilties. I was there in the room. I was crying. Jesse Jackson, Dad was crying. The whole room was in tears. Terrence was there. And it was because we could not believe there was 3 guilties. That never happened before.
Ever.
Never. That did not happen in 2020. It happened in 2021. So that was less than 4 or 5 years ago that we saw accountability on that level. And then as soon as that happened, the accountability was abandoned, right? So why I'm saying this is, you see
how the world will respond. They will throw things at you just for us to just to appease you. It's okay. They weren't sorry that George Floyd was killed. They didn't care he lost his life. I do rev socials. When we talked about the 5-year anniversary, some people said, "Oh, he didn't get choked to death. That was fentanyl." They still blame him for his own death. And he was killed on camera in front of us. Excuse me, Terrence. So what I want you to understand and what I don't want you to get normalized to the two young people that I'm talking to, because it could happen to y'all tomorrow. It could happen to anybody in this room tomorrow, and we would have to shut the world down and say, justice for so-and-so. But we should not have to get to that point anymore. What you have control of is your vote and your money. That's what you have control of. You don't even have control of your family. You have control of your money and your vote. So basically, George Floyd Justice and Policing Bill, the only way to get that across is by the elected officials that you put in office. It's that simple. People like, is that serious? It's that serious. What is your vote? What do you care? What do you feel for police reform? It's that serious. Your vote matters that much, which means that you have to be what? What do you have to do in order to be a able voter? Anybody yell it out. In order to be able to vote, what's the first thing you have to do? You have to be 18. And then what else? Somebody else said it. You have to register, right? Then jury duty, right? So all of those have to be checked off for your vote. It's not mandatory, but you have to respond. You have to respond. If you don't respond, you cannot vote. Right. So you have to be in compliance for your vote to matter. Then you have to know who you're voting for, from the top down, not just the president. And I'm telling you this because nobody told me this. And I went to a great school, Poly Prep Country Day School. They did not care about civic engagement. Because if you're ignorant, who cares? That's going to affect you. We know how to do what we're doing. So that's what I'm saying to you. Civic engagement matters. Your vote and your money. Where you spend your money, they keep talking about Target. Target is one target.
Yes.
It's just one out of all of the ones who promised money for George Floyd, who promised money for Ahmaud Arbery, who promised money for Breonna Taylor. They just kept saying more money, and then they just took it away. And they just took it away. So all we can do, I'm sorry, I'm going on, I know, Dominique is over it and she's coming. But all we can do is control our dollars.
That's all right.
Control our dollars. Pay attention to how they respond when they kill us. Who's outside when they kill us? Who cares when they kill us? And they might not have any opinion on that, but they might have donated to the Trump campaign. Or they might have donated to the police department down there where they made the consent decrees happen. You just have to watch the money, pay attention. The news is boring, politics is boring, but it matters. It matters. While we're marching on Wall Street, like Dad said, it's because that's where the money is. They don't care how angry we are. They care about our money. They care about their money. They don't care about our money, they care about their money. So that's why we're marching on Wall Street. It all ties into each other. And I want it to make sense to you. We're not just going to march because Rev said we're going to march. It makes sense. They're not paying any attention to us. None. I don't know if y'all realize it. They don't care. Trump does not care at all. Pence, what's the name? Elon Musk just left. He was like, bye. Good day to you. They don't care. So that's why we're going to Wall Street, because we're trying to make them pay attention to us. One thing Dad knows how to do, big mouth, righteous troublemaker, is make sure they pay attention to us. And they don't like him. They don't like him. But he represents a group of us that show that we're not going to give up just because they say so. So why we have to understand, our vote and our money. That is what we need to understand. And when we're doing it, DEI should stand for George Floyd. Every time we're talking about DEI, we keep losing that. DEI is bigger than diversity, equity, and inclusion. It stands for George Floyd. It stands what they did to George Floyd. It stands what they did to Breonna Taylor. It stands what they did to Sandra Bland, because it became out of that movement. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It didn't just come out of affirmative action. So they need to understand DEI means George Floyd. Because right now in the movement, you don't hear that anymore. And after 5 years, you can talk to Momses, you can talk to Winston, you can talk to the people that's been activists longer than 10 years. How many names do you hear after 5 years in this movement? Honestly. After the 5-year mark, how many times, how important is it, Damien? No, how many times do you hear the names after that 5-year mark? It's almost over in activism. So that's why I'm charging y'all. It's on us. Because to the public, it's done.
Well, let's give Ashley another big hand for that. I guess Mondays are going to turn into the Saturday Action Rally. Woo! That's good for you. He can take a break. We got to, yeah. The Lord will always leave a ram in the bush. Okay. All right. All right. So, well, Ashley just told us that there are two things that we control. What did she say they were? Speaking about voting, we have an election coming up here in New York City. Are you all prepared for that election? Oh man, that's going to be something. When does early voting start? June 14th. June 14th is early voting for what? For the primary, yes. Who is going to be on this ballot? Okay, let's throw out some names. Come on. Eric Adams will not be on this ballot. Why is he not? He's running as an independent. He tried. Oh, I can't say that. Lord, thank you. I had to catch the mic. Anyway, well, Cuomo. Okay, Cuomo. Who else? Adrian Adams. That's 2. Mondani. That's 3. Michael Blake. That's 4. Zelno is 5. Lander. 6. No. Jessica Ramos. That's 7. There's 2 more. Scott Stringer. And there is another light-skinned guy. His name is Whitney. Whitney. Wait a minute. Let me give y'all his name. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Y'all don't know him, though, so that means he ain't going to win. All right. His name is Whitney Tilson. Y'all don't know him. Okay, never mind. So early voting starts on June 14th. Are you all registered to vote? Good. Give yourselves a hand for that. Make sure you vote in this election because there are a lot more things on this mayoral race than just personalities. And you know, I think what happens, especially in New York City, and the only way that you really win a citywide election is because of personality. If you really think about it, a lot of these people, some of them are running on good campaigns. I'm not, endorsing nobody, but a lot of people are running on good campaigns. What is different about this election than previous, except for 2021? What is this election? What are we doing? Ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting. Does anybody know how that works? Go ahead. Up to how many people can you choose? 5 people. Good. So you get, those people are put in a pool and they do rounds and rounds. In the last election, we found out how many rounds it took. Did anybody listen to how many rounds it took on Saturday? 13. Oh, Mr. Gilchrist. There you go. Give Mr. Gilchrist there. There you go. 13 rounds. In order to certify that Eric Adams would win the election, he had to go through 13 rounds, and that took less than 24 hours to do that. But you know what this does? This election gives people more of a chance, not just of winning, but also a more diverse group of people to get to this election. Also, we learned that in the last election, when it came to ranked choice voting, that him and Maya Wiley were like this, and that he won by literally, I think, 250 or 300 votes, and that it was in that last ballot that gave him 49.9% plus 1. That's what they called it, which got to 50. So there was a lot of things. But I want to talk to you about the candidates. Does anybody know who Zoran Mahmoudi is? He is a state assembly member who represents Queens, and he is now he's a socialist on the Democratic side, though, so a socialist Democrat, which means he is very progressive in his way of doing things. Does anybody know his major platform that he's running on? When I say platform, I mean his major initiative for when he becomes mayor. Freezing rent for 5 years. He is talking about freezing rent for 5 years, which, according to the New York City Charter, the mayor has the authority to do. Why has no mayor ever thought about that? I don't know. But him and Brad Lander are the only two that we have heard speak about rent freeze. The other ones are just talking about complete affordability. Here, 2 months ago when Mahmoudi came to convention, he was only at 15% of the vote to win. Andrew Cuomo was at 45. Mahmoudi I keep calling Mahmoudi. Mandani, I'm so sorry. That's why y'all don't know. It's Mandani. Well, who's Mahmoudi? Mandani, I'm so sorry. Zoran Mandani. He is now at 30%, and Cuomo is only at 35%. And so they are basically now in the margin of error to take the front-running place to be the mayor. What did I tell you guys is happening on this Thursday at 8 p.m.? The debate. All of the candidates on the Democratic ticket will be debating. Let me give you the information. Thank you, Channel 4, 7, not 8. Thank you for Miss Kathy Payne for that wonderful information. Channel 4, yep, she's right, at 7 p.m. Okay, so I want to give you some more stats on this mayoral race. Okay, let me ask another question. When was the last time there was a Republican mayor in the city of New York? Technically, Michael Bloomberg was technically the last Republican mayor. Was Bloomberg, because he technically won as a Republican in 01, and then after he won, declared himself an independent. But he won as a Republican. When was the last time the state of New York had a Republican governor? George Pataki was the last one from 1995 to 2006. He served, who is that? All right, so let me give you guys some more details about this election. So Andrew Cuomo, as I said, is 35%. He is in the front running race. Mandani has now got to 30%. Brad Lander is at 11%. Adrian Adams is at 9%. Zelnor Myrie is at 7%. Eric Adams, if he was to still be on the Democratic ballot and as a first choice, these are the numbers that I'm giving you guys as first choices. So let me say that again, so if you didn't hear. First choice, and this is what is coming from the polls directly, more to other articles, is that first choice for Andrew Cuomo is 35% of voters say that they will vote for him. Mandani, I said it right? Thank you. Mandani, for first choice, is 30%. Brad Lander is at 10%. Scott Stringer is at 10%. Adrian Adams is at 9%. Zelnor Myrie is at 5%. And if Eric Adams was to be on this ballot for the primary, he would only be at 4% on the Democratic primary for first choice ranking in this election. So he definitely made a good choice to run as an independent. God bless you, because he would have cried. All right, so now let me give you more about demographics. Voters under the age of 30. Cuomo is only leading by 1 point. Cuomo is at 21%. Mandani is at 20%, but he is looking to take that lead within the next couple of days. They're looking to see after the debate. Black voters, 47% for Cuomo, 45% for Hispanics. Voters with a college degree, Mandani is only trailing Cuomo by 3%. I'm trying to show you how close they are when you get even deeper. Voters without a college degree, Cuomo is trending downward compared to Mandani, where Mandani is taking the lead on that one. Brooklyn, the race is much closer in Brooklyn than any other borough. Both of these frontrunners happen to be from the same borough, Queens. But Brooklyn, which they used to call Crooklyn for the crooked folks. I'm not from Brooklyn, so I don't care. Brooklyn is where the race is neck to neck. And it is looking like that borough can go to either one of them according to voters. But have any of you done your research on the candidates? Ranked choice voting, as I said, is very significant because I believe we are one of the only places in the country that use ranked choice voting on a major election. Other cities, other towns, they use ranked choice voting for school board elections, for chiefs and stuff, for people that vote for, their sheriffs and whatnot. We don't have that here. But we are the only major city in America to use ranked choice voting for a major citywide election. There is also the race for comptroller is another big one. Do any of you know who's running for comptroller? The only one that really don't have no significant person trying to run against him is Jamani. This is his last term. So, they're giving him some grace. He only got 4 more years left. So let's pray, that the Lord elevates him after his next term. Anyway, we love Jamani. Don't we love Jamani? He's a wonderful guy. I love Jamani. All right. So, does anybody know who's running for comptroller? Let's throw out some names. The Manhattan Borough President, Mark Levine. He's running for comptroller. Jennifer Rosh Kava, I can never say her name correct, so if you hear this, forgive me. The lady with the red dress, you will never forget. That's the only color I've ever seen her wear. I've never seen her wear, even when she comes here to the House of Justice. That is the only color or anything that I've ever seen her wear is that red dress. You can't forget her. Raj Varak. Who else is running? I just saw his face. Wait a minute. Who? Yeah, I think so. Wait a minute. Somebody search it up for me. I don't want to say the wrong stuff. Kevin Parker? Parker. Yeah, that's his name. Anybody else know anybody? Okay. Good. So that's good. They're also doing ranked choice voting for those elections as well. All the elections are getting ranked choice voting. There is also a debate for each of these offices as well. I am not sure if they're doing one for public advocate because one of the people just dropped out of the public advocate race to now run for comptroller. His name is Calvin Sun. He is a doctor from Chinatown, which was running for public advocate until he found out he wouldn't win against Jamani and said, let me go for comptroller. So that's what he's doing. Yeah. Alexis. I can't say that on the mic. First lady. All right. Does anybody have anything to say about the elections? What are you guys looking forward to? What concerns do you have for the city? And we've had every mayoral Democratic candidate here once every other Saturday or something like that. They've been here. We have had almost everybody. They all came to convention. Every single last one of them. Nobody has anything to say about this. Come on, come to the mic. If you got anything to say about the election, questions. Yeah, does anybody know who you're voting for? I want to hear some of these ranks. I can give you mine. Okay, I'm not doing an endorsement. Let me stand over here, because Ashley asked me this in the back. Okay, this is my choice. Mandani, Cuomo, Michael Blake, Adrian Adams, Brad Lander. Those are my folks. Those are my folks. I ranked it. Go ahead. Is your mic on? No. Hold the button. He did. Oh, yes. Wait a minute. Mandani has also raised some of the most money without public funds. I want you to know that, because you know that when you give $25, they give you 8 times that amount. So they double it. But without the money of even public funds, he has raised millions of dollars. And for some reason, public funds, the campaign finance board don't really like Cuomo because they keep taking all his money and giving it to Adrian Adams. Every time I turn the news on, they said, we ain't giving him no more money. And they gave it to somebody else. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So my question, so I'm a son of a preacher's kid and also a son of a landlord, right? And so my father owns real estate, and so I'm wondering exactly, so two questions, right? First question is, what exactly does a rent freeze for 5 years accomplish?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know that.
What is that like for the people, but like for the economy, what is that?
I believe that when you say a rent freeze, that means your rent is not going to go up or down. It's not going to move. It is going to stay at the current place, no matter if more inflation comes, no matter if the economy goes down, no matter if you lose your job or not. Your rent is going to be staying there for at least 5 years, which the mayor, according to the city charter, I want you to hear this, does have the authority to do. He does not have to go to city council. He doesn't have to get a vote by nobody. He can sign with the stroke of a pen, and they cannot repeal it because it is in the charter that the mayor of the city of New York has the authority to freeze rent. So I don't want you guys to forget that. He has power to do that.
Right. I took that out of context. I thought rent freeze meant they wouldn't have to pay no rent.
Oh,
under
no, you
certain
crazy?
circumstances.
In this city? They may let you do that.
They're counting on that. People believe that, and they're using that.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's what I was wondering.
In the most expensive city in America, no rent for 5 years? Oh, the city would go bankrupt.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So
One more question.
So second question is so based off the Constitution, Third Amendment. My father is a landlord, and after he had some new tenants, he realized they were non-civilians. So I want to ask a question about how does the Third Amendment apply in modern day context if non-civilians come and maybe intrude. The Third Amendment is no soldier should be quartered in a house at a time of peace.
Yes. But that ain't so.
So I'm asking in modern day context, if one was to...
Is anybody in here a lawyer? Okay, well, ask a lawyer. I don't want to give the wrong information. Because if I give the wrong thing... Oh, are you a lawyer? Almost. You got to pass the bar. We got to pray that he passed the bar. Y'all give him some prayer. You passed already. Oh, he passed. So you're a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He passed the bar in the state of New York. That's the hardest bar in America. All right. I don't know how to answer that question. It's about how would the Third Amendment go into this context. I know that that's dealing with soldiers particularly. They had to create another something to talk about regular people with squatters' rights and all of that. That's deeper than that. But that particular amendment, I know back then, was talking about soldiers during wartime. They would just come and show up at your door. Lord, thank you. I almost talked a different language. Show up at your door and say, let me in. And, you know, they don't do that no more. Thank God.
Yes. So I'm saying when they do that unknowingly, let's say for like a covert operation, and they get spotted through lack of discretion and just sloppy schemes, they do because it happened at 80 Solomon Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut 06105. It's been going on, and it's like when that happens, what's the next step towards protecting your rights as a citizen?
I do not know, but we will find out. Mr. Gilchrist, you have a question or a comment? Go ahead.
How does that affect the leases?
The what?
The 2-year, 3-year lease.
Oh.
And after the lease, you automatically, there's an increase. That's freezing all leases?
That's a good question. That is a very good question that I don't know. You can't ask me. I'm not running. If he wins, we'll bring him back and you can ask him all the questions you want. I don't work for him. Turn your mic. Just hold it.
Like this?
No, you don't have to hold the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So half of the commercials that I've been seeing, I almost fall out of my seat
You know, like Zohan said, he's gonna make sure that minimum wage is $20. Now, they had already had a meeting saying that trying to raise the minimum wage for small businesses was difficult, that they don't have the money. So for him to make this promise that we're gonna have a $20 minimum wage, it's just not true. Like, so many things they're saying, it's not true. Like, one of the commercials, the guy says, we're gonna make sure every vacant lot is going to have housing. Now, before they said that we don't have the system to make sure that we have, like the water and everything with sewage to make sure that there's housing on every block.
Yes.
Okay, so they had already addressed that and said that that couldn't be done. And people that own land, they have a right to hold out for the amount of money that they want.
Coco, let me say this. When she says that there's not enough sewage, she means that there's not enough water lines. And they're not going, it costs a lot to make water lines. And so a lot of these lots that you are seeing that are empty have no water under them. And so it would be virtually almost impossible without interrupting the already system. And the New York system is already old. I remember when they were saying that there was lead and stuff in the pipes as a kid. Now, I never drank tap water or nothing like that. I've always been spoiled and drank out of bottles. My dog even drinks out of Poland Spring bottled water. I don't even play about my dog. He ain't getting sick, never. But this is what I want to say about that, is that I remember as kids, they would they got rid of all of the water fountains. Do y'all remember in school? Well, some of you are much older than me, so I don't know if you remember when you was in school. But in my school, we had the water fountain that you would twist, and it would be by the sink in the classroom. This is in elementary school. I went to a public school in elementary. The rest of that, I went to private school. But they would twist the sink, and that's how the water came out. Cecil, you're not that much older than me. Okay, good. So I have a witness somewhere. Long story short is that, as Coco is saying, there is not enough water lines to make new housing. And then also she said another thing. What is the current minimum wage in the city of New York? No? 16. And actually it's $16.50 because we are now in the half mark of the year. Before Governor Cuomo left, he made a system that it will increase over the next 5 or 6 years, and it will go up, I believe, to $22 or something like that. I don't know. This is a question that I actually have, and I'm glad Coco brought it up. I don't know if the mayor has the full authority to just raise minimum wage immediately, which is why I think Cuomo, to combat not just law issues, but also businesses, it will be impossible, as Coco is saying, for a business out of nowhere that's paying you a certain amount 1 year and immediately jump to another number without preparation. So these people are prepared every year to know that you got to pay an extra dollar to your employees because you're aware of it already. So they have a plan in place. But these are good questions that y'all are asking. I wish that they were here to answer them. I don't work for any of them, so it's hard. Go ahead. One more common question, Coco.
I'm just saying that if you are a landowner and you choose to keep your property vacant because you want more money, you have a right to do that.
Yes.
You're the one who own it. So for him to say that, it's like he's saying he's going to take your rights away.
Yeah.
And it's going to just make you sell. And that's not how we work. So I just think that it's outrageous.
All right, Jonka, stay on topic,
I
please.
agree with Coco, and what I want to let especially the young ones know, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just, a vacant lot. We need airspace, we need green space, so we have good oxygen, and the water always has to run towards sea level. And a lot of times now, the way the world was built, it was very much number one, under God, and let's keep that because he's in charge of everything.
Amen.
And number two, that it was for the health of everybody. Everybody, no matter what color you are, what creed, it was for everybody to be healthy and for the environment because we also have wildlife and they have to drink water too.
Well, thank you. Give her a hand for just for the comment.
Like today, I learned that where I live in the developments, And the housing worker, young lady was telling me about that. Our water, certain parts of our water come from underground to come into our faucets, you know, but our water wasn't cut off today, but I learned something new. And that's good. We have to learn, we have to read, and we have to study what the laws is and where some of our water is coming from. And they have water like from the, what's that, hydrant? And they had some buildings had to come and get their water from outside, from that hydrant.
Well, thank you. All right, I want to close with this, and Ashley's going to close. And watch the debate on Thursday. Listen to what these people are saying. Do not vote for someone based off of personality and because you know them, which is what a lot of people are planning on doing. They're voting for one guy, I'm not going to say his name, only because of his previous position. But just because of what he did previously does not mean that he's not coming to do something else. The same way Trump had a comeback, this man could have a comeback and change everything he said. We don't know, because he's done it before, and if you don't keep your pressure on him, you know, he can slip at any minute. He's done it. You know, Lord have mercy, God help us with him. And then also, don't vote for some of these people. I heard somebody say they were going to vote for someone, even though she is the only female that is running for mayor. Listen to her, what she wants to do too. Now, we all love Adrienne Adams, but what is her plans for New York City? Besides just that the fact that she was the Speaker of the City Council, which is good, that's a citywide position, that actually, technically, I didn't vote for you. The people of your district voted for you, and the council made you Speaker. But that does not give you, say, that you just should be the mayor, because y'all didn't work together on a lot of things. But that's another problem for another time. Rent freeze, Mr. Gilchrist gave a very good question, is what does that mean for your lease? Does your lease stop at a certain time, or does it keep getting renewed at the same place when you bought it 2 years ago? Okay? So watch the debate, keep in mind the dates for the election, and we look forward to seeing what comes out of this wonderful primary. All right, Ashley's coming back.
Thank you, Chris. I'm gonna be 5 minutes, okay? So we can be out of here. Okay. So, this is the last Did You Know article. Does everybody here know what Juneteenth is? Juneteenth is? What is Juneteenth? Good job. She said celebrating African culture. Let's clap that up. Anybody want to help? Anybody want to add to that? Ocean? All right, Ocean, let's clap that up. All right. So is Juneteenth still a federal holiday? Confusion surrounds Trump administration's anti-DEI push. With Memorial Day weekend behind us, many are already looking ahead to the next federal holiday, or simply their next day off. The next day off work, not too far, is on June 19th, also known as Juneteenth. This day became a federal holiday in what year? Does anybody know? 2021. 2021. Okay. When former President Joe Biden signed bipartisan legislation, let's clap that up, into law, because he did do that. Here is more about the day. As Ocean said, short for June 19th, Juneteenth is the day that many celebrate for the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in Texas in 1865. Is Juneteenth banned? Yes or no? Does anybody know? Okay, there you go. So be confident. No. No, the holiday is not banned. However, this year, some Juneteenth events are being called off, and while the reasons vary, a few organizers are pointing to the shifting political landscape under Donald Trump's leadership. There's no direct link between the Trump administration and the cancellations, but the renewed focus on limiting federal diversity and inclusion programs has stirred concern amongst some groups. According to Newsweek, here are several cities that have canceled Juneteenth celebrations. It's just Oregon and Illinois. So that's not too much, but that is still enough. That's enough. Everywhere else is still having Juneteenth holidays, Juneteenth celebrations. Here at the House of Justice and National Action Network in New York City, it happens to fall on a Thursday. So what do we do on Thursdays in New York City? DEI Thursdays, all right. So basically what we will be doing for Juneteenth, so you all are aware, and Coordinator Ron, Reverend Sharpton will be announcing it, but you got the scoop here first. On June 19th, we will have a massive DEI action at 787 11th Avenue. Reverend Sharpton, other partnering organizations will be down there joining us. Then we will also be coming back here for Legal Night. Legal Night would not be the last night of last Thursday of the month of this month. It'll be on June 19th. In between that time, that's a little gap. That's like 4 hours. We're gonna come back here and convene because Juneteenth is a celebration, so we're gonna celebrate outside and inside, right? But we're gonna have the formal. I'm gonna let them lay it out. Our leaders lay it out for you. But we will be here taking action, then coming back here in community, and then having Legal Night that evening. So we'll have a full day for Juneteenth festivities, and then next year when we'll be at the new building, we'll be having a formal National Action Network Juneteenth festival. All right, so that's what we're looking forward to, and that's what we'll be doing to celebrate. And last but not least, I just had a few more announcements. So Mama Z, everybody remember Mama Z, Xenia Met? All right, so this Saturday, everybody say this Saturday. This Saturday is the 7th. I believe, right? Yep. Okay, so we're having Mama Z Day. Love on the Block. I believe Stephanie, if y'all were at the funeral for Mama Z, Stephanie from Warm, she's a friend to Nan. She announced Love on the Block, Gun Violence Awareness Month in honor of Mama Z. So this Saturday, June 7th from 12 to 5 on West 115th Street between Lenox and 5th Avenue outside the whole block. It'll be games. It'll be food. It's like 50 organizations coming together for a community day in the name of Mama Z. She was always outside. She loved the community, and she loved to serve the community food. So that's basically what it's going to be, a community day outside. And it's convened by Stephanie for We All Really Matter, which is the DV organization that wears purple, and then Nan is a partner. So we will be there. You can find a table there. If you want to volunteer to help at the table, you can just talk to me. Coordinator Ron is also going to announce if you want to, Reverend Sharpton wants us to get the word out. He wants us to revamp our action team, our street teams. So if you want to help promote everything, all of our NAN activities, but outside, not outside here, like outside. We want you to sign up with us. So you can sign up with Christian, you can sign up with Coordinator Ron, you can sign up with Goldie, myself, any NAN people that if you want to sign up to volunteer. Of course, you'll be taken care of, but we want you to be active. Don't sign up if you're just gonna sit and not share. We don't want you to take the flyers and just sit them here. We want you to actually move them around and get more people here because we have a lot coming up, and we want more people involved and more people in the know about it. All right? Agreed? All right, go Knicks? No? Okay. All right. We're done? We're done. All right. All right. You want to pray us out? All right.
All right. There are no Knicks fans here? No? All right. Go Knicks. Well, the Knicks lost everything, I heard. So it's all right. Okay. No, but as Ashley said, please make sure that you govern yourselves accordingly. We're going to have the major Juneteenth in coordination with DEI, 787 11th Avenue. That's June 19th, which is a Thursday. We want everybody to be there. Tell your friends. Huddle is also helping with that. The Youth and College Division is helping with that. And so we're organizing around that June 19th celebration. And then what else? Ashley said all the announcements. All right, everybody stand. Let's pray and go home. Yes, let's eat. All right. God, we thank you for this time and this opportunity that you have brought us here. God, we thank you for the good conversation and that everything was well here. Now, God, we ask that you would bless the food. Thank you for the hands that prepared it. Let it bless our mind, our body, and the soul. Thank you for the hands that prepared it. Thank you for those that will serve. Remove all impurities from it and let it bless our mind, body, and soul. Now, God, as we leave this place, but never from your presence, get us to our various destinations and find all things well. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Oh. No, keep
Let's keep going. One good news is that June is happy birthday to all those born in the month of June. So that's happy birthday to all the Geminis and the Cancers. We will be celebrating you formally the last Monday of the month. So if you were born in June, we have something special for you. Make sure you hit the last Monday so that you can receive your gift. Thank you and have a good night.